Oh hey, what's up guys? You just got me chilling here, hanging out by this bonfire in the house, and you know, I just thought this would be a good episode to just chill the whole time, you know? Welcome to Let's Play Dark Souls 3 Chill Edition. Also Kita Edition, if you're wondering. Alright, so a couple quick things I want to bring up. Number one is that I actually made a mistake in the last episode, and I'll just go ahead and move and groove as I talk about this, which is that I said that you couldn't join the Mound Maker's Covenant and get this badge that I have right here unless you were hollow, and you couldn't access that. I was incorrect. I believe Rooster Goblin was the first one to bring this up to me, but multiple of you guys brought this up to me, so whenever I make mistakes, please do correct me, and I appreciate it, because we're all learning together. So, you can actually join as long as you haven't defeated the area boss, who is actually located in this building over here, which we cannot open from this side. I can head towards the other bonfire to open up, but we're going to go somewhere else first, which is going to be in this general direction over here. And then after that, we'll go ahead and open up that bonfire. Okay. For some reason, I thought there would be more guys that are trying to kill me. Anyways, the other thing is that there's actually just a patch that was just applied today as of me recording this. Breaking the fourth wall here. You're going to know what day I recorded. Oh, no! Which is fine. Anyways. That asshole! So, yeah, anyways, there's a new patch that was just, that just updated Dark Souls 3, and part of that patch, the interesting part of it, at least to me, there's a bunch of multiplayer stuff that they fixed, but another thing they did was they made it so you could reverse hollowing from the Firekeeper, as well as another Covenant portion, which I don't want to spoil it, because that's kind of a huge spoiler, and I'm sort of surprised they mentioned it in the patch notes, because I'd say it's a bit of a spoiler. I mean, it's not like as big of a spoiler as people might think it would be, I suppose, but it is a bit of a spoiler, and hopefully one that we'll find out today, depending on how long it takes me to kill these guys, who actually are doing a lot less damage than I thought they'd be doing, to be perfectly honest. Like, I thought they hurt me for more damage than this. I should be hurting a lot more than I seem to be. But, hey, you know, I'm just that good. Just that good. Something to note about this guy, too, is just pay attention to where he's at in relation to everything. He's kind of just chilling by this edge here. Because he's an edgy guy. Ha 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 ha. I'm so funny. I am so hilarious. Oh. Especially when I allow myself to get beaten in the face by a giant pot like that. Man, stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stick around for more jokes like that. Hilarious jokes. I finally bit the bullet, too, today. And bought a whole bunch of new mic stuff. I guess that is the detriment of me now having a full-time job, is that I don't have as much time to work on this stuff. So I apologize if people want me to have more frequent uploads. I am literally doing the absolute best I can. The positive, though, is I can actually afford things like mic equipment that I desperately needed. So, on the quick end of things, I went ahead and went to Guitar Center, bought a new mic cable, or an XLR cable, I should say, for my mic that I currently have. So, hopefully I won't have that annoying, grainy stuff in the background. And I also got a new mic that I really badly needed for recording Let's Plays. So, hopefully when that comes in, this mic quality is going to jump up. Oh, all you get over there is an alluring skull, as a quick note. Anyways, back to mic stuff, because that's what's interesting me right now, because I spent a bunch of money on it today. Yeah, I got that, and then also I got a new nice microphone for recording audio for my super shows when I'm doing on-camera stuff, because the audio's been absolute crap, and people keep mentioning it to me, and I know. So I finally went about fixing it. But we find a new character over here, so let's go ahead and give him a chat.
Another one of those unkindled, are you? All you faceless undead, behaving as if you deserve respect. No matter. Heed my words. If you've any sense, you'll go find a coffin to huddle up inside. You, here, in this land of hollows. You're like a frail maiden on the front lines. If, like the others, You're fool enough to play the champion. Then go on ahead. Traipse right past the abandoned church. You'll face death. And it won't be pretty. Enough death to leave you broken. Time after time.
So I'm assuming this is the abandoned church right here. Another thing that's worth mentioning that he talks about is that there are multiple unkindled. You're not the only one. He does also lump you in with the undead, although I think there's a slight distinction between undead and unkindled, personally. I think undead would be all these hollows we've been seeing. I think if you're unkindled or akindled of some sort, that actually alleviates you to a higher level than just a regular undead.
If, like the others, you're fool enough to play the champion, then go on ahead.
Oh, apparently that's all he says.
If, like the other...
Alright, I actually thought he'd say more. We find a locked door over here, which one thing that's good to note is that if you use your binocs, you can actually see a maiden over there. So, do note that.
You like... How very genteel.
First thing he said was, you like poking around, do you?
Ah. Taking an interest in her, have you? Well, she's a lost cause. Couldn't even become a firekeeper. After I brought her all this way and got her all ready. She's beyond repair, I tell you.
So, learning a little bit about becoming a firekeeper, that people actually, at least this maiden, that was her goal, was to become a firekeeper, so it's not something that people just happen upon. There was also Dark Souls 1, there were some characters who chose to be firekeepers, like the brass armor-wearing firekeeper, whose name I'm not quite remembering, who hangs out at Anne Orlando in Dark Souls 1. She chose to be a firekeeper, it would seem.
The woman's a lost cook. Couldn't even become...
Alright, so that's all we get out of him. So, at the moment, we don't know much else about him. I mean, you could try to murder him, I suppose, and see if he drops something. I haven't tried that yet at this juncture, but, yeah, he's got some badass equipment. That is also a good note, I think. Oh, and right above here, by the way, see that tree up there? That is where that hanging corpse was at that I shot down. So if the body had fallen and I picked up the item, this is where I would have had to go to. Reason I say it's kind of a pain is because that bridge I had to cross, there's actually can be a lot more enemies over there who kind of march along. Dayman. Okay, I guess that's a regular person. I was trying to see if that was a NPC summon or an online summon. So anyways, it's kind of just a dangerous trip. Who is it? Oh. Sigmar, is that you? It can't be. Can it? Let's find out. Oh wait, you can actually kind of see inside the helmet. Let me binocular up in your face for a moment. I can't see too much. I bet someone will be smart and figure out a way to clip through it properly so we can see exactly what this guy's face looks like. Someone will, I guarantee it. Acting a whole lot like Seameyer.
Oh. Pardon me, I was absorbed in thought. I am Siegwart of Katarina. To be honest, I'm in a bit of a pickle. Have you ever walked near a white birch only to be struck by a great arrow?
That just happened to us last episode.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, they come from this tower. Whoever it is, I'm sure I can talk some sense into them. But I have to find a way up, and that's just the trouble. This lift only goes down, you see, and... well, that doesn't get me anywhere.
Alright, so we have another Katarina Knight, and you can tell right by the armor that it's another Katarina Knight. So it's not Sigmar from Dark Souls 1 or his daughter. This is a new Katarina Knight, Sigurd. So again, you can tell they were borrowing a lot from Dark Souls 1 lore and the locations and all of that, which is why I highly recommend going back and watching people's Dark Souls 1 lore videos to catch up if you would like to know more about the lore, because it actually does play a big part in this game. But we actually learned a lot about the elevators here just by walking in, which is the fact that he came up from the bottom. But if you notice, an elevator went up when he did that. So if we run across, this elevator will go down. So there is an area below here, which is actually, if you remember, we'd actually heard a bit about this last episode from that Crestfallen Knight. And we have a second elevator that comes from above. Seaward, totally oblivious to it, though.
This lift only goes down. But you know, with a little warming up, eventually... No. I've got to use my head and think.
See where it's right in front of you. It's right in front of you, but you just watched it happen.
This lift...
Alright, so we're actually going to travel up first. And Sigurd actually gives us a point of advice, which is that this is where he thinks the giant is located, and he's coming to talk some sense to the giant, and he thinks we can talk to the giant. So that is what we're going to do after we get a soul of a nameless soldier. After we do that, of course, we're going to see if there's a giant up here and give it a little chat. Alright, so there is indeed a giant here. As a note, he doesn't attack you if you have in your inventory the young white branch, which you can get. You can get this branch as a gift at the very beginning of the game, so you don't have to go to the white birch tree. Otherwise, you have to go to that white birch, which is why I went there first last episode, is because I wanted to get this young white branch, even though he was shooting arrows that are basically giant spears at us. Also, I didn't read the lore of it, and it's actually pretty important lore. I forgot about that. Used to transform into something which blends into the surroundings. So A, it's a really cool item, but B, Little Dusk's first sorcery staff eventually became a seedling, and then 3 white birch samplings. The young branch is said to still contain echoes of Little Dusk's capriciousness. And if you guys know your Dark Souls 1 lore, Dusk was from Ulasil and is a character from Dark Souls 1 who's a fairly major character, especially in the DLC of the game, as she was Princess Dusk. Oh, if we look down here, notice that there's that demon that's walking. You might recognize the demon, as it looks a whole lot like Dark Souls 1. What? Whoa. Alright, so, yeah, demon walking around down there. Looks very stoned and also on fire. But because we have this burst, we can talk to the giant.
Who are you?
We can make peace, or we can leave. So let's make peace.
I help anytime.
So all it took was giving him a white branch. And let's look at my white branches. Actually, I guess you don't have to even give him one. But I'm pretty sure, I think you have to have a white branch. I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure that's how you can make peace with him. But when you make peace, he gives you another young white branch. Branch of a white birch tree received from a giant, apparently as a token of friendship. Becomes something that blends into the surroundings, consumed with use. Good friend, no hit. Very basic, but now he will no longer shoot these spear arrows at us.
I help anytime.
So there you go. That's it. So definitely worth coming up here just to do that, so he won't shoot arrows at us. We can get by a little bit easier. And I'm going to see what else we can see in the distance. So over here in the distance, we actually see yet another location that we don't know what this location is yet. But this area over here is worth focusing on, because it will come up again. So we are, in Dark Souls 3, Miyazaki stated this: everything you see you will be able to traverse to. Even those mountains. Actually, probably not those mountains. But this area right here is somewhere we will get to if you note that bridge. And all this, yeah, that's somewhere we'll end up going to. It's always cool getting these eagle eye views. And I'm not making an Assassin's Creed reference, please don't think that. Here you have Lothric, the High Wall of Lothric, which is where we came from. And over there, the Undead Settlement. So, yeah, just really cool looking down at everything. And actually, if you look over here, this is that white birch that he was shooting arrows at, that we picked up our birch branches at. So, with all that done, let's head back down. Oh, I was facing the wrong way. All right, I wanted to face the other way. I made a mistake. But you hear Sigurd, so he apparently figured something out, and that clue is that he's up there, so we want to figure out where that noise came from. If you were paying attention when you first came up, that noise also helps indicate where you're supposed to drop off, but it's only on one side, so I was looking the wrong way to see where to drop off. So this elevator has a lot of trickiness to it. It has a drop-off point halfway up, and it has both a downwards and upwards path. So, coming over here, we find Sigurd yet again.
Ah, oh, don't disappear like that. You had me downright worried. But thanks to you, an epiphany has struck me square in the head.
I'll strike you square in the head.
I've unraveled the riddle of this inscrutable lift.
Notice in the distance you can see that demon we saw from above stalking around in this little town square.
On some days I begin to doubt myself. I went up the tower, so I thought, then somehow ended up here. I'm not exactly sure what happened. Anyhow, do you see that? That humongous beast? I'm no coward and I've a steady hand, but that thing makes my skin crawl. How now? Think twice before you go down that road.
Do I have to think twice?
I could try talking some sense into him. No, I think not. He's far too overheated.
Ha ha ha!
I've got to use my head and think.
Ha 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 ha! Ha ha ha! Ha ha! I gotta find a clip of Titus to intercut into that for that joke.
I could try talking some sense. No, I think not. He's far too overheated.
Alright. I was like, yep, I think that clip of Titus is just right here. Okay, so obviously nothing else we can do, so we're going to drop down. So, I mean, bear in mind, at this point we could go fight the boss of this area, who's an optional boss, by the by. And we actually could go down the elevator, which is going to lead us to the area that our Crestfallen Warrior was talking about. But we're going to go here first, because this is actually an optional area as well. And go say hello to this demon who looks very reminiscent of demons from Dark Souls 1.
Well, it's too late now. I, Sigurd of the Knights of Katarina, fight by your side.
So, as far as Sigurd goes, he'll also jump down if you just explore too far. He'll automatically be prompted to jump down. So, I think that's also worth mentioning. But, you know, we got a bro to help us out. He's actually pretty good. He's doing a good job helping us out. All right, I get nervous because he has an AoE attack that's pretty devastating. Everything else with this guy does not faze me, but that AoE attack that he has does a lot. We just, like, straight up destroyed this thing, though. Oh, there's something I wanted to mention with him that I completely forgot to. All right, thing that's worth mentioning and thinking about right here and now. He is stone, or turning into stone. He's a lava fire that is going out. Now, think about what happens when lava goes out, right? So you have a volcano, lava erupts out of it. What happens? It turns into land. It turns into stone. That's how islands are made. Like Hawaii, that is how Hawaii was made. It was an underground volcano. Kept on making it go up and up and up. As volcano came up, it would cool off and turn into stone. So, interesting and cool bit right there is that seems to be what's happening to these chaos demons from Dark Souls 1, is time has gone by long enough that they're going from fire and lava to stone. Let's get a fire gem for beating it. Let's look at the fire gem. See, doesn't say much, but this is another infusing thing. Found in rare cases inside demons. A gem of infused Titanite. Fire weapons inflict fire damage, but lose scaling effects. So, bear that in mind if you do choose to infuse something. It's going to lose its scaling. But it really depends on the infusion, I should say. So that is a lie. It depends on the infusion. But if you do a specific element, usually it's going to lose its scaling and just get better at that specific infusion.
That was quite a performance. But you mustn't get in over your head. We unkindled must put our duties first. But, for the moment, we've a toast to make.
So he gives us some Siegbräu. I believe that's how it's pronounced.
To your valor, my sword, and our victory together. Long may the sun shine.
So imagine a drink is in his hand, likely a Siegbräu, and that's what he's doing, is using that toast gesture. So we got a new gesture out of that.
Well, I'm going to have myself a little nap. The only thing to do, really, after a nice toast.
And he legitimately does. And if you talk to him while you do that, you get the sleep gesture. So many gestures out of this. Now, Siegward does have an entire quest line. If you want to do his quest line, you have to start here. This is where his quest line begins. Let's go ahead and equip those gestures because they're pretty awesome. Let's go to sleep and toast. And I mean, you can see what they look like. I don't feel like I need to sample them, but we can look at the Siegbräu at least. Restores HP and boosts frost resist. Special brew of Siegward of Katarina, perfect for travel in its Jolly Barrel mug. Leave it to Siegward to discover a drink that even an undead can enjoy. Perhaps his long years spent undead have left him wanting to drain a cup or two and revel as if he were still among the living. Do not drink your Siegbräu. There are actually a couple things you can do with it. One in particular I think you guys are going to very, very much want to do. Alright, I always forget if there's anything back here. I don't think there is, but might as well just explore it. So everyone's like, okay, cool. Everything's explored. We know everything's explored because you did it. We watched you and witnessed you do it. Alright, cool. Thing to note is these hanging bodies up here have items on them. Luckily, the wind for that guy is helping show that. There are more bodies over here as well. We got a large club. Again, I don't think there's any lore. And that body also has one. So there's one on each side. If you are fighting the demon over here, there's a chance you can knock these down while fighting the demon, just as a note, because that happened to me once and I got confused for a bit. So, oops. Well, that's alright. We'll just pick up this one first. A pale tongue. Let's check that one out. Proof of a red orb invader's victory over a host of embers. Claiming tongues as trophies was originally the practice of an infamous troop of invaders who offered them to their speechless goddess. Who is that speechless goddess? Wait and find out. Also, another chair hollow turning into a tree. You guys offered some advice for why the hollows were all praying over a tree, by the way, last episode, or some possibilities, which was that maybe it was a tree that a hollow had turned into, as that seemed to be what they were doing in the High Wall of Lothric, which is definitely a possibility. We also get the entire northern set over here. Let's see if there's any lore to it. Northern deserter armor doesn't have anything, by the way, except the insignia is worn beyond recognition. Cool. Northern armor, iron defensive wear grants superior absorption. Being from the north, it should also offer resistance to the cold. Iron armor of a stalwart northern warrior supported by interwoven chainmail. I don't believe this is any armor from Dark Souls 2. I don't think. I don't know all the armor just like offhand that well from Souls 2, like all the random armor. If it is, it's my mistake. Let me know. You can break all this stuff too. I guess not this one. I think actually a demon can break this right in the middle here. But yeah, that's all that's in that little area over there. I don't think there's anything in this spot. I'm pretty sure I've gathered all the items. There is an area to go up, but first let's make sure we haven't missed anything. I know there's an item up above here, which I might have already gotten. Oh, nope, I guess not. All right, cool. We got a homeward bone. Why, what does this say? Tears. Someone was looking for a hidden passage. It's funny, I was actually talking to Caddy, Cat Icarus, if you know who that is. Awesome guy, makes great videos. You should definitely check him out. He's a huge fan of Bloodborne, and he got into Dark Souls 3 recently, and he was getting thrown off because he's fairly new to the Souls series somewhat. He played Dark Souls 2, got bored, and stopped part way through. Also, this one threw me off like hell, because this guy in the middle there is a different color from these other ones, so I thought he was going to drop down and be a trap. Turns out he's not actually a trap. Let's look at the red bug pellet, and then I'll continue this Caddy story, because I think there's actually some lore to it. Some minor lore to it. Medicinal pellet made from crushed insects. The red type temporarily boosts fire damage absorption. Prepared in the Cathedral of the Deep by evangelists who dole them out to followers to ease their suffering when they burn. So, interesting they'd have to do that in the Cathedral of the Deep. If you remember, Cathedral of the Deep is associated with Aldrich of the Deep. So yeah, so Caddy's story is that there are a bunch of trolley messages where people were talking about passages and you didn't know how to open a passage because in Dark Souls, or in Bloodborne, unless you're in the challenge dungeons, there weren't any hidden illusory walls. So there were like warnings of illusory walls that were trolling, so you just had no idea and was really confused about what to do. Alright, so something that actually was pointed out to me in the comments. Let me drop this. Let me drop this fool. Alright, apparently I could shoot at him with an arrow, but... okay, so if I R2 this guy right here, I just want to show this, it's going to do 44 damage. But if I R2 with one-handed, it does a huge amount of damage. So apparently these guys aren't weak specifically to arrows, they're weak to piercing damage. So thank you so much. I will put your name post-production. I apologize for not having it right off the bat in my head. But thank you for that note. So they're actually weak to piercing damage. So another mistake I made, I just knew that they were weak to arrows from some testing I did. Apparently it isn't just arrows, it is piercing damage. So good thing to know. Good thing to know. Hey puppy. Hey pup. I just wanna say hello. I don't at all want to be a jerk and kill a dog. Not even in the slightest. Oh, another thing that I forgot to note, actually, is actually a pretty cool lore thing that I forgot to note. At the bridge, the suspended bridge where we found Yol of Londor, is that if you look across the bridge, you see another stone dragon that's collapsed, and all the pilgrims have been trying to cross that bridge that's broken where the dragon is. What exactly it means, I think, is still open for interpretation. I don't completely know yet, so if you guys have thoughts on that, definitely let me know what your thoughts are. But it's still something I'm honestly trying to figure out, both the pilgrim situation and why the dragon's there. I mean, we see dragons all over the High Wall of Londor, so I guess that's not surprising we see a dragon. But, yeah, you know, definitely worth pointing out. Also, I'm shooting the wrong type of arrows. I like shooting these guys with arrows from here, even though we now know about the piercing damage, just because we don't have to get in close to all these guys. This is supposed to be a trap for that box right there, that if you open that treasure chest, all these guys will drop down. So I'm going to get in closer just so you can see with the one who's still remaining. Now there's only one left. I open this up. This guy's going to drop, so it activates all of them, so that is a trap. So again, pay attention to your environment at all times. Environment. I'm talking like Mike Tyson. I was actually just watching a documentary, 30 on 30, I think it's called, the ESPN documentaries. It's on Netflix for Evander Holyfield. And Mike Tyson. It's called Chasing Tyson. I'm actually a big boxing fan. I like boxing a lot. Don't ask me boxing, like, trivia, because I'm not good at it. I just enjoy boxing. I've taken boxing classes. Human pine resin. But, so I do enjoy watching it on occasion. And, that was really good 30 on 30. But because of that, I was watching that today, and Mike Tyson was talking, and apparently I just accidentally picked up on some of his mannerisms. Not necessarily good for general speaking. All right, so normally used in the undead settlement for preservation and burials, but can mature into this state, becoming a valuable substance. Used in this certain ceremony, often seen for trade at exorbitant prices. In human pine resin is charcoal pine resin rotted with human body fluids, which applies dark. The gold pine resin applies golden sparks, which is lightning damage. Its origins are unknown, although some have speculated that may in fact be a type of fungal resin. We have pine resins and you have bundles, by the way. So bundles are quick, but shorter, last shorter. So yeah. Charcoal pine resin used in undead settlement to preserve undead bodies after dissection and to bury them. So actually, this could be why they burn the bodies. Why we see bodies burnt here is because they use charcoal pine resin. Maybe that's what they're doing. To preserve the undead bodies after dissecting them in order to bury them. So, as we found out, they do bury undead bodies even though they're undead. So they're buried alive in a sense. So, actually, I never even realized that until just now. So maybe that is what they're doing. So that's pretty cool that we're finally learning about that. All right. Oh, man, I was tapping B. Apparently, I was out of my... Oh, God, I'm fat rolling. I forgot to unequip my Bo, get out of here, Bo. Get out of here, Bo Peep. Alright. Now I'm ready. Now I'm ready to fight now that I can fast roll again. Man, I ain't about those fat rolls. Ah! Ah! Oh. Man, I actually... Oh! Cool. What? Oh, you're gonna... I was like, what are you gonna do? Apparently you're just gonna do some long-range stuff. These ladies. Just so rude. So bad. So bad. Oh, I was trying to backstab. Trying to backstab her. Alright, so now we've dealt with the enemy situations here. Those were the enemy situations. Man, look at all this torture that's been going on, though. Just look at this. Like, crazy. Crazy amounts of torture happening here in the Undead Settlement. So, that's interesting. I don't know if there's any specific, like... There's no reason specifically I know yet. So you can roll onto this roof, by the way, and drop down onto it, but there's nothing there. At least nothing I could find. I also tried rolling onto that area. Again, nothing I could find. However, up here, we do find some stuff. First, we find Flynn's ring over here, which I'll look at in a moment. I don't think there's anything else on this roof. However, don't use your undead bone, or don't use a homeward bone here, because some people might be like, how do I leave? What do I do? Why, you drop down here. And then you drop down here. And then you heal yourself just in case you mess up what's about to come. Which is picking up more homeward bones. And some people who don't know the word challenge might look down here, might look at this dead body and say, what do I do? And playing online, the answer is obvious by that. Yeah, sometimes I like playing offline just so you don't get those obvious hints. I kind of don't like that people leave those notes sometimes. It can be nice for illusory walls, so you don't have to always like hit at every single wall, but I don't mind doing that. I kind of honestly prefer doing that. And if I'm being completely honest, my first time playing through Dark Souls 3, I'm so glad that I essentially got an offline experience, because I was hitting every wall and I enjoyed doing that. I enjoyed that exploration, and I enjoy looking down here and trying to figure out what to do myself, because that thing right there makes it really obvious. That's like, oh, I guess what I have to do is jump onto this as opposed to just rolling down, and that's how you're gonna make it down all right. Now, you can roll down and you'll survive. Possibly. It depends on how much health you have, but you can survive, because I messed up my first time that I ever did this and rolled down, but yeah. All right, so we get the Mira Vest. Mira is the location from Dark Souls 2. Lucca wears the Mira set as Lucca is from Mira, if you guys remember Dark Souls 2. And we also get Chloranthy Ring, which is I like a lot, personally. So that is why I didn't go straight to the rings, is because I knew we were going to get another ring. I'm going to switch out the Flame Stone Plate ring, because I don't care that much about fire damage, honestly. I prefer a little bit more bleed resistance. Not that I care that much about either, but let's look at our new rings. Flynn's ring. Lowering equip load increases attack. My equip load is pretty low, actually. Well, actually, it's not. My ratio is pretty high. 67.8 is a high ratio. So I think it's the lower. I would imagine that's ratio-based, but it could just be equip load-based. I could be wrong. This is a ring from Dark Souls 2, by the way. If I remember correctly, it was in the Sunken King DLC. Ring of Flynn, the Eulogized Thief. Lowering equip load increases attack power. Flynn fought with the wind on his side and was a hero among the weak and poor. Yet even his admirers knew that it was a little more than an idyllic fable. Or idyllic. I think it's idyllic. Maybe it's idyllic pronunciated that way. Chloranthy Ring. Raises stamina, recovery speed. I'm a fan of this. This old ring is named for its decorative green blossom, but its luster is long since faded. Raises stamina recovery speed. So let's see if I can still roll. I can, which is great. And we'll look at our Mira set. So, Mira Vest. Garb worn by Mira Knights sent on journeys. This hard leather vest is bestowed only upon proven knights. They travel afar to fulfill their sacred duties, but few are ever able to deliver on their vows. And then we get the Mira gloves. I think, yes, this just says the same stuff. Same with the leggings. So Lucca and her brother, who we can also meet in Dark Souls 2 as an invader, are both from Mira and are Mira Knights. So we are getting some Dark Souls 2 locations. They just aren't as prominent as Dark Souls 1. So for those of you who are curious, or who are like, I'm only seeing Dark Souls 1 stuff, there are Dark Souls 2. And as much as like I can sometimes do rip on Dark Souls 2 because I think Dark Souls 1 is a better game, I still do enjoy Dark Souls 2. So I don't want people to think I hate the game. I did like the game a lot. I wouldn't have covered as much as on my channel if I didn't like the game. I just wouldn't have. Just so you guys are aware, I would not have done that. So I do like the game. I just thought Dark Souls 1 was better. I thought the lore was much stronger, in my opinion. Oh god, oh god. The reason I didn't cover Dark Souls 1 lore as much. I mean, I covered it pretty heavily. I think that I do have more Dark Souls 1 lore videos than 2 videos, but it was already pretty well covered, in my opinion, by Vadi and EMB. And, like, Dark Souls 2 was exciting to me because people hadn't figured it out yet, you know? Because I started Dark Souls 1 lore a little late. Whereas Dark Souls 2 lore, I was kind of, like, on the forefront of trying to figure it out with everyone. Oh god, oh god, oh god, I need to get away, I need to get away! Oh, that could have been bad. I wasn't thinking straight, honestly. I was kind of, oh. I do not want to die. I'd be so embarrassed if I died at this point because I've been playing so fine up until this point. All right, I can't just like let her treat me that way. All right, you gonna do this? You gonna do fire? Good, because now I can take advantage of that. Oh god, there's a dog. Oh man, that could have been bad. So this dog and her and that other enemy who were over here could have been by the bridge. Oh, sweet, we got a spiked mace from her. That was a really lucky drop. Let's see what it says. Maybe there's some lore on it. Choice weapon of the evangelists of the Cathedral of the Deep. Mentors of the dwellers of the undead settlement. Its long, sharp spikes cause great pain and bleeding. Actually, some really good lore on this. So this evangelist, this lady is an evangelist, apparently. And she's from the Cathedral of the Deep. And that's, and mentors of dwellers of the undead settlement. So apparently they had some big influence on the undead settlement. So that's actually really cool. I wonder if part of that has to do with all the torture that we see too. All right, so we have a boss to fight. But before I fight that boss, I would like to... All right, let's just fight this guy. Let's just do it. I'm going to be safe about it though. And, like, I could be attacking him more, but let's... Oh, no! Oh, no. Oh, no. Come on. Just get the kill. Whoo! Oh, there's going to be some explosions. All right, guys. Watch out for explosions. Cool. All right, this is very, very on the edge here. Very close to the wire. All right, come on. Woo! All right, I'm going to go ahead and reach some levels, then we'll go fight the boss, because might as well be smart about it. Might as well. All right, I'm going to see if I can get any new info from peeps.
Well, hasn't it been some time? I'm Leonard, the Ringfinger. Remember me? I slipped you those red eyes some time ago. You're making quite an effort of it, so I thought you might like to know. If you yearn for a proper red-eye orb, one that is uncracked, then kill the Dark Wraith, survivor of the land swallowed by darkness. He has been a prisoner for many ages in the deepest cell in all Lothric.
And we get the lift chamber key, so...
I can see it in your eyes. If you didn't invade, didn't pillage, whatever would you do?
Yeah, because I've done so many invasions so far.
If you fancy a proper red-eye orb, then kill the Dark Wraith. I can see it in your eyes.
Alright, so let's go ahead and look at this, and I'll talk about what you mentioned with the Dark Wraith, because that's actually pretty big stuff. Alright, we get the lift chamber key. Key to the room of the lift that descends to the deepest dungeon in Lothric. A surviving Dark Wraith from the land swallowed by darkness is said to be held there. Now, if you remember from Dark Souls 1, the land swallowed by darkness is New Londo. New Londo being the new settlement that was created from Anor Londo, kind of as an extension. And there are tons and tons of Dark Wraiths in New Londo, so Dark Wraiths are now back. This undead lift chamber key is actually the key to the area at High Wall of Lothric we couldn't go to yet, so now we can actually get there.
Fret not, for I am...
I think we actually get some more stuff from Ludleth too.
Listen, this might pique thine interest. Before I was a Lord of Cinder, I was a student of transposition, the process of extracting and coalescing the essence of a soul. A forbidden art that once left a foul stain upon Corlin's honor. 'Tis an art that grants powers once thought unattainable. Most transposing kilns were lost with Corland, but this place is a crossing for all manner of cursed objects. If thou happenst upon a transposing kiln, bring it to me. Quick. Listen, before...
Alright, so we find out some stuff here. So, Ludlith is from Kurland.
Now.
So that's why he seems to know about transposition. Transposition, though, was looked bad on. And remember, he chose to become a Lord of Cinder. So the fact that he's so into transposing could say why he ended up choosing that. It might be a clue into that and an indicator. And this is just me speculating here, just so you guys are aware. This isn't like an actual thing. I'm kind of speculating at the moment. But if we look at the skull ring, which he had on him, one of Kurland's transposed wonders, which was transposed from the soul of a soul feeder. So presumably, this is something that he himself transposed. And again, might be an indicator as to why he is so frowned upon. Actually, before I go reach these levels, let's go chat. How many? Not enough Titanite shards. Let's go chat with our friend over here.
Heavens, she was already dead.
So now they get the curl up gesture. He's so happy.
Heavens.
That's all we're going to get from him is heaven, she was already dead. But there's another gesture there that you can get. I don't think I can reach another level from him. I'm going to check. No, not yet. All right. Totally fine. I need to hollow myself out a little more if I want to. All right, so I'm curious at this point if the Firekeeper is going to go ahead and be able to cure my hollowing at this point, or if we need an item from later in the game. Yeah, I think we need an item later in the game. Alright, so let's level up. Let's level this up. Let's see. Man, I can't get as many level ups as I thought I'd be able to. Alright, so let's go 1 dex. Let's go 1 vigor. Might as well raise up my health a little bit. Why not? And I feel pretty good about that. Alright, I'll see you guys at the dilapidated bridge. Alright, we're back at the undead settlement to take care of some business. Wrap up this undead settlement, if you know what I'm saying. Now, as I mentioned before, this is an optional boss. You do not have to fight it. However, there is a very good reason to, so which we will find out. But you do not need to. I think that's worth mentioning again. Also, looks like... What? Where did they just go? There's some signs on the ground. They look like they were from Mountain Makers since they were purple. Unless I'm going crazy. Okay. Alright. Anyways, moving on. Reason that I didn't fight this boss before too is because I wanted to show this. Which is that now that we have the giant on our side, we can kind of just chill and relax and be like, hey, we'll just take care of these enemies for us. No problem. No problem at all. Whoa, you're getting awfully close to me. Actually, I think if you're close this time, it won't even hurt you, now that I think about it. I'm pretty sure that you can get close to the enemies. Yeah, see, that was close to me and it didn't hurt me at all. So, yeah, it doesn't even hurt us, which is really nice. But nice to have this giant on our side. What do you say? I mean, sure, you could have attacked him, but why would you do that? He's so great. Look at what he's doing for us. He's being totally awesome. And now we can go up here without any problem. Now, I could have done it before, but since I was so low on health, I didn't want to risk it, especially since there's also going to be one of these thieves. Apparently, it's called a thrall. That's the actual name of these, which is some sort of slave, I believe. Where is he? All right, there he is. I should have just been looking straight up, apparently. I guess he was on this oh, he's probably up on that. That'd be my guess. Ah! You asshole! I thought I killed you. Ah, okay. We gotta get away. I guess this one had more health since it has the flame burge. It's one of those ones. At least I think that's a flame burge. Will I find out? Nope. Alright, so we get the cleric set and the blue wooden shields. Let's go ahead and check out this cleric set, as well as the blue wooden shield. Alright. Cleric blue robes. Garb worn by a cleric turned undead. Unmistakable, vibrant blue robes. It is said that the blue robe travelers were entrusted with a duty. They bore large covers on their backs to ensure that they would not become seed beds for spreading darkness. So darkness is spreading. Cleric gloves. It is said that they were entrusted with a duty. Still, its nature is yet to be revealed. So that is the cleric specifically. Let's go ahead and look at the blue wooden shield. Wooden shield painted bright blue, the symbol of clerics who have become undead. Close to a small shield in size. And again, they're good for magic absorption. But main reason we want to come up here is because there's an item up here we really want to get. Because it's going to open up some cool stuff if I do say so myself. We're going to get the Mortician's Ashes. Now, if you remember, the person who's looking for ashes is the Shrine Handmaiden. It's going to be a key item. Shrine Handmaiden will prepare new items. Umbral Ash of a resident of the undead settlement to made a living burying corpses. With this, the Shrine Handmaiden will prepare new items. So this, you're going to want to remember this location for this item specifically. Now, at this point, if I wanted to, I could just go ahead and go to the bonfire again to heal myself, because at this point, you can pretty much just quick run to the boss if you know how to get there. I'm not going to, though. I am not going to do that. And also, if you remember, guys with red eyes are more powerful and have more health than undead who do not have the red glowing eyes. Now, we saw that carrot on a stick, as they call it, over here from before, that shining item, so it just gives you an indication to, hey, do a little bit of exploration, do some parkour. We get the Great Scythe, and you guys know how much I love the Great Scythe, because it is amazing in Dark Souls 1. Dark Souls 3, I don't like it as much. Dark Souls 2, I really don't like the Great Scythe. Dark Souls 3, it's alright, but I didn't get super into it. It was just a little too slow for me. I got too used to quick items, or quick weapons, I should say, with Bloodborne. Attacks with this large scythe, normally used for crop harvesting, are effective at breaking past shields. The magnificent sharp curved blade instills fear in opponents. Perhaps it is their survival instinct at work. Next swipe is its special weapon attack. But it's got, if you look at it, E strength, C dexterity. So it's got a lot of dexterity scaling, which is part of why I liked it a lot in Dark Souls 1, is it's really good with dex scaling. But Dark Souls 3, I got a new bae. And we haven't found her yet. Alright, so we come upon this shrine. You see lots of summon signs, so clearly there's a boss ahead. Again, sometimes online play just ruins stuff, in my opinion, as far as surprise goes. But hey, a lot of people like it, which is totally fine. So this is now that area, and we have Sunbronate. Awesome. Sunbronate is clearly a Sunbro, as you can tell by the golden summon sign, but this is that undead area that we were at before. This is that passage. So this is how we open the door. I wonder if there's any actual summons here. Casina, Goiter, nah, I don't think so. Or Gadar, Kazakh. And it sucks because I actually want to see if there's any NPC summons here. Sigmar, you don't look like Sigmar. Actually, I don't remember what Sigmar looks like. People have figured out what Sigmar looks like, but I don't think that's what it was. All right, so if we go into here, this is where the boss is located. This is actually a promotional boss that they use in a lot of trailers, so and preemptive stuff to like draw off the game, like the early trailers, I should say. If you want to, you can kill some of these enemies early. It's going to make the boss fight a little less frustrating, just because you don't have to deal with all these guys. I really don't care about them. Once you've gotten used to this boss, it's really not that big of a deal to have those guys there, in my opinion. You kind of just get used to not needing to worry about it. Main thing is you want to destroy its like blisters and pus stuff that I just did. And yeah, as you can tell, those guys are already being quite annoying. And but this tree will hurt them too. So it's not only going to hurt us, it'll also hurt them. But once it does this thing right here, oh, not this thing. You got to raise up a little bit higher, bro. Ah! All right, whatever. We're going to attack his back pus. If I can get to it. Come on, back pus. What are you... Come on! Apparently I can't. I'm not supposed to be able to hit that one. All right, let's go inner thigh pus. All right, doesn't want me to. Fine. Fine. I'll hit the front one. Apparently that's all it wants me to hit right now. Fine. I am not doing well against him at all right now. Usually this is super easy for me because I just attack the front one first. Also, you'll notice that stuff that he had on the ground was poisoning me and hurting me. All right, can I hurt any of his other pus yet? Can I? It's not gonna let me. All right, fine. Fine. What are you doing? There it goes. It's like, you're supposed to break the ground. Go do your thing. Come on. Do your thing. All right, so this is gonna open up this hand, which is kind of annoying, but not that big of a deal, really. Really not that big of a deal. Don't even worry about it. And now I can hurt his back bumps, back blisters that I wasn't letting me do before. Thank you. And I should be able to hurt his foot one too. All right, whatever. We'll worry about this front. His hand is also a weak spot too, but it can hurt you pretty bad if you're going for the frontier, so just be cautious of that. But yeah, that's about it. Oh, that's because the other bump was on this side. So there's the Cursed Rotted Greatwood. Excuse me, the Rotted Greatwood. Cursed Rotted Greatwood. We get the soul of the Rotted Greatwood and the Transposing Kiln. So if you remember, Ludlith was talking about wanting this Transposing Kiln so he could do some transposition. What is transposition? We will find out. So let's look at what we just got. Another beautiful boss soul. Soul of the Rotted Greatwood. Soul of the Cursed Rotted Greatwood, one of the twisted souls steeped in strength. Ever since its established, so used to acquire many souls or transposed to extract its true strength. We get the same message with the Soul of Boreal Valley Vort. Ever since its establishment, all manner of curses have managed to seep into the undead settlement. The worst of them were sealed away inside a spirit tree, but eventually the curses took their toll. So curses just kept on getting through, and this tree specifically was harnessing a lot of them, apparently. The Transposing Kiln, an old transposing kiln from Kurland, crafted with stitched crystal lizard hide. I do wonder how it got here. It looks very Abyss too, if you look in the center of it, to me at least, or at least like almost like outer space. It's pretty crazy how it looks. But apparently that wraparound is from crystal lizards. Give to Ludlith, Lord of Cinder, to conduct soul transposition. This kiln can transpose twisted souls to craft special items with their concentrated essence, deemed forbidden by those unable to make proper use of it. Apparently they were a little jelly. But you may recognize this Pit of Hollows. Hey, bro. Alright. Okay, then. Anyways, you may recognize this Pit of Hollows. This is where we went to before to get to become a Mound Maker. So if you go here, you can no longer join the Mound Maker Covenant if you defeat this boss. We can still pray, though, to the sacrificial altar and offer vertebrae. So we can still do that, and we can still be a Mound Maker if we've gotten this Covenant and still do it. So once you have that Covenant, you don't need to worry anymore. But yeah, it's because this bro right here dies, and he's the one who gives us the Mound Maker Covenant. So that is why you might not want to do this until you're sure you want to do this, I guess. Until you just make sure you get this Covenant if you really want it. All right, let's go ahead and go back to Firelink Shrine. All right, so we got a whole bunch of things to do here. I'm going to try to do them quick because I want to show the last area of the Undead Settlement off if I can. All right, so we're going to give her an Umbral Ash for the Mortician's Ashes.
Gracious, passing fine ash thou'st given. Let this ash bestow nourishment. I only hope these new wares content thee.
Oh, I'm sure they will. I am sure they will. So now she carries new wares. Main one, though, that I want to look at here is above, which is the Grave Key. Key to adorn Undead Settlement Sewer. Key to the bar door leading from the sewer below the Undead Settlement to a moist grave. The grave, which no longer receives visitors, was once the site of a statue of Velka, goddess of sin, and was believed to pardon wrongdoings and lift curses. It was by that. And if you remember, Velka, the goddess of sin, huge lore character in Dark Souls 1. Lots of cool lore revolving around her. I highly recommend watching my Dark Souls 1 lore video on Velka if you haven't. Yes, I am pitching my own stuff, but I think it was a pretty good video, and it describes Velka pretty well. I also just dropped to the wrong place. And we're going to go ahead and access that area. But first, before we do that, let's go to Ludlith and give him
fret not.
A transposing kiln.
Oh, belike it is a transposing kiln in thy possession. Seen better days, but methinks it shall suffice. Now, bring to me a twisted soul. Transposition is the art of extracting and coalescing the essence of a soul. In transposing a twisted soul, its true power transferreth to thee. Thy purpose is to seek lords and slay them. What's to fear in a little transposition now?
I don't know, bro, but apparently you became a Lord of Cinder, possibly because you were so looked down on for transposing. Doesn't matter, though. So transposing, we can now use our souls to create boss weapons. So it is back. Dark Souls 1 had this. Dark Souls 2 had this. Bloodborne did not, but Dark Souls 3 has it back. So I think this actually creates replay value, and they very much so do it here because every soul, except for one, which will give you 3, but every soul here has 2 possibilities. So the Soul of the Rotted Greatwood can give you the Hollow Slayer Greatsword or the Arstore's Spear. Demon's Great Axe is from a Soul Demon or the Demon's Fist, and then the Soul of Boreal Valley Vort can give you Vort's Great Hammer or the Pontiff's Left Eye. Now, we're going to look at this lore stuff because there's lore, really good lore in all of this, but we're going to do it next episode because I do want to finish the Undead Settlement off. So let's actually go ahead and level up more. Give me some level ups, please. This time I'm actually going to raise up my resistance and my vitality so I can carry a little bit more. It's also going to raise up my defense. And I'm going to give myself a little more endurance. So not a fun set of levels per se, but always good, always helpful. All right, I'll see you guys at the Dilapidated Bridge. I got a few minutes. Let's do this thing. We're going back to the sewer. So the thing I was saying, though, is that if you want to collect everything in the game, you're going to have to go into New Game Plus, actually. So, because one specific boss soul actually gives you 3 transposing items from our character here. But here is the sewer, and we can use our grave key to go into here. And I was so hyped and so excited when I turned right and I saw none other than the statue of Velka. Holy shit, that is so cool, because Velka is one of my favorite lore characters from Dark Souls 1, and she is now mentioned again. Not only mentioned, but she has her own statue. We can request Absolution and request Dissolution. Apparently, Dissolution is how to heal yourself with being hollowed, but it's going to cost you souls, and that will reverse hollowing. So that is new from this update that they just released. We were also going to get a loincloth. I don't actually think there's any lore from this loincloth, but why not look, because it's right next to Velka. The deprived only managed to rummage just enough clothes to protect their vital parts, so apparently it doesn't give us much. There's a great video out about armor in Dark Souls 3, which I will link in the description. If I remember, if I forget, please remind me. About armor and the fact that you should apparently have something equipped in every slot. I don't have a face thing on, and I don't care. Whatever. There is something I like for the face, but once I get it, I'll equip it, but we haven't gotten into it yet. Long-hilted weapon mixing spear and axe can be thrust like spears, so again, nothing. Oh, the red-hilted halberd is associated with clerics, so just like very minor lore. Super minor lore, but we're going to go traverse through this catacombs, very minor catacombs. And already seeing something. Here is some skeletons on the ground. Let's take them out before they can do anything, though. These are ones, though, that have been turning into trees, as you can see by some of them whose heads... Not all of them, but some of them have those heads that are turning into trees, as you can tell. And most of them... Oh! Most of them become, like, I guess... become skeletons and raise up once you get close to them. So just so you know, just be cautious if you're low on health or you're a little nervous. Also, this one right here is actually going to be a trap. I just happen to know that, so... because it almost affected me one time, because I was really low on health and I had no more Estus shards and it almost screwed me over. But I survived just fine. So anyways, yeah, that one they try to trap you there. Sorry, there's no fun that I just happen to know that. What can I say? I'm just that good. Also, I checked all these walls for hidden areas. Couldn't find any. Alright. Be wary of crystal lizards always. Always be wary of crystal lizards when they run away. They are usually trying to lead you to something. So what could that something be? If you remember, this guy right here up above, who is standing on the edge there, well, he was waiting for this. That is actually why he was there. Now, why... Oh, apparently he does take fall damage. I was about to complain about the fact that he takes no fall damage, but apparently he does. Just not as much as we would. So, whatever. Pretty easy as long as you know what to do. This has actually been a good trip. We got a couple Titanite shards out of this. And we do have one more reason to use my bow and arrows as well. So, let's go ahead and equip that. Still gonna fat roll, though. Still gonna fat roll, even though I raised up my equip load. Alright, we get another reason for the bow and arrow over here. Like, no, I don't want to go too far over. No. Blessed red and white shield +1. So we're finding out that there's also going to be +1 shield. You can always, you can +1 your equipment. So I was about to say you can find +1 stuff as you go, but that's just me being dumb. This is standard wooden shield. Not much to it. Totally cool. Also, a person died over there. Also totally cool. This stuff's warning us that this is a trap. I already know what it says. I already know that's what it's gonna say because I've been here before. Again, I was actually in a pretty precarious spot here. Like I said, I had pretty much no health, and I was very I had no Estus shards left, so I was like, or Estus flasks. So this was actually a pretty awesome situation because no one warned me, which I kind of like. All right, we get the Saint's Talisman here. Let's go ahead and look at that. Medium for casting miracles of the gods. Ivory talismans are given only to women clerics, and faith greatly affects their effectiveness. There's a certain frailty to this talisman, which undermines the steadfastness granted by its skill. All right. Good stuff, good stuff. Sorry if I seem rushed. I'm just like, I don't want this to go too long. All right, and what do you know? If we look to the left, it's that maiden, and we can open this gate. And before we talk to her, let's go ahead and talk to this guy again.
The woman's a lost cause. Couldn't you?
Oh, apparently he doesn't have anything new for us. All right, that's cool. So we'll go ahead and talk to her.
Who is there? Is someone there? Anyone? Oh, please. Whoever you are, touch me.
Whoa, whoa, pretty forward there.
The dark surrounds me, nibbles at my flesh. Little creatures. They never stop biting. So please, hold out your hand and touch me.
Shh, don't tell her we're here. Let's ignore her. Just kidding. We're going to touch her. Tells you a little bit about what it becomes to try to become a fire keeper.
Ah, yes, there you are. So close, indeed. Then I am not entirely alone just yet. Praise the merciful gods above.
Yay, prayer gesture. Hurrah. Let's talk to her again.
Oh, forgive me. I am Irina of Karim. I came to this land so that I might be a firekeeper. Your touch has freed me from the darkness. You are a champion, then?
Yep.
I am weak and unfit to tend the flames. But if it would not trouble you, might I enter into your service instead?
I look like a crazy person. But yeah, so apparently I think that whole champion thing relates to us being unkindled, personally. But yeah, let's accept her.
Oh, thank you, sweet champion. I shall take my vows. I, Irina of Karim, solemnly swear to serve you.
Alright, so Irina of Karim, another major lore location from Dark Souls 1. Earl Arstor was also from Karim, as well as a lot of negative people, which is why it's interesting that Irina's actually seems to be positive, but a lot of negative people are from Karim in Dark Souls 1.
You've gone and rescued her, have you? How very quaint. Pitying creatures that are beyond help. Very well. I'm sick of looking after her at any rate. I am Egon, a knight of Karim. I am allied to you for as long as you assure the girl's safety. And only for that long. What's the matter? My terms are very simple. I am allied to you for as long as you assure the girl's safety. And only for that long. What's the matter?
Alright, so that's all that Egon's got for us. So, Egon also from Karim, and also Egon, what he's saying here actually explains a little bit of Lautrec from Karim's lore for Lautrec, who wore the armor of the Brace and was obsessed with Fina, goddess of beauty, if I remember correctly, but Fina. So, possibly explains a bit about how Lautrec acts. So we're going to go down this time, and I was just thinking, like, you know what, I'm already here, let's just go ahead and get through this specific path here. We're going to find a new creature here, a frost-ridden creature who we actually... Oops. This enemy was in the packs, well, the various, like, pre-versions of Dark Souls 3. And this was like a secret enemy to fight that everyone was having a lot of trouble with. Like, people were having more trouble with this enemy than the boss. I think he's a little bit easier now than he was in the demo, just because of whatever level they had you set at, or they might have changed things around. But you can see what he's doing there is he's also adding frost. So we get a lot of frost from people. Oh god, we got frostbitten. Oh no, I'm not gonna be able to recover stamina as well. Come on, come on. Gotta get my rolls. I just want one more heal. One heal. Ah! Okay. He started a frenzy, got a little bad there. That's alright. Got him taken care of. We get the Irithil Straight Sword. Let's go and look at the Irithil Straight Sword. Straight Sword bestowed upon the Outrider Knights of the Boreal Valley. This weapon is enshrouded in frost and causes frostbite. Every Outrider Knight one day devolves into a beast, constantly hounded by Pontiff Sullivan's black eyes. So, actually, I think one of those black eyes we could have looked at, if I remember correctly, from the transposition, but some stuff to bear in mind here. So these guys are from the Boreal Valley. We've heard of it before, Irithil of the Boreal Valley. Even from the character creation, it seems to be where a lot of frost is from. Boreal Valley is where Vort's from, who also does frost damage, who is the boss. And that thing about the Outrider Knights going insane is a really good point to remember. And Pontiff Sullivan is also a character to remember. So, with that, we open these gates and come to the Road of Sacrifices, which we've heard so much about, and the end of this episode. Normally, I like to go back to Firelink Shrine, but since we're running so late here, I'll do that at the beginning of the next episode. So, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry that I rushed a little bit at the end, just because I like to keep these around an hour, and I figured it'd be nice to finish the Undead Settlement off in this episode. So, I'll see you guys next time. I hope you're enjoying. Later, guys. I got rid of my wave by accident. Where is my wave? We don't need the bow. Who needs bows? We need waves. There it is. All right. Later, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.